allow us to begin. And for today's practice, you might like to have a block, and also maybe considering using a blanket today, given the temperatures this morning. If you're practicing this class at some later stage, you might not consider all of that. So to begin with, lie down on your backs, get yourself comfortable, maybe close the eyes. And if closing the eyes sounds quite challenging, don't worry too much about that. I will ask you in that case to just steady your gaze. And you can also lie down in any way that feels right for you, whether that's your feet on the ground or wide and knees dropping in, or your legs out long, or even, the bound angle pose on your back. So whatever feels right for you, get yourself into that position. And today I would like you to focus on one thing on the side, so to say, and that is the idea of surrender. When we think about surrendering ourselves, we also might think about letting everything just be and not doing anything at all. That's not what this is about. This is about allowing things to be as they are and still pursuing your life, still doing what you enjoy doing, and also taking good care of yourself, which is what we always do in this practice. You might feel safe to allow yourself to surrender to the practice, and you could start in this small step by acknowledging yourself, as we usually do when we come to the mat. And as you acknowledge yourself, feeling into your body and noticing where your body is at. From there, go a little bit deeper and maybe find another layer of your being where you feel emotions, where you notice thoughts, where you might begin to recognize that there's also energy moving within. And as you lie comfortably, allow the breath to deepen a little. And just notice how that already creates a little bit of change within you. And you might think about each out breath, that idea of surrendering to that is. And your out breaths maybe starting to be more like a sigh, to encourage further release and surrender. Keep breathing deeply. We'll practice a simple Ujjayi or full yogic breath. And to do so, your breath will have structure and moves into the belly first, then expands the lower ribs, and we take it then up towards the collarbones. And when you're breathing out, the belly comes in, then the ribs, and then the upper chest. So each breath from your belly to your ribs and to your collarbones. And if you do enjoy the victorious breath or Ujjayi breath, you can allow a light constriction in the back of the throat to create the hissing sound or oceanic sound that accompanies the breath. And with that, there's a good chance that you can actually keep your focus. This breath is long and deep, but it's always free of any strain or stress. As you continue your breathing, finding potential balance in the length of in and out breaths, I will also share the card with you that I've picked for just today's practice. It is taken from the secret language of colors, and the color is emerald. Emerald green, as you might choose to use this color in your mind and to inhale it. The emerald green helps with overcoming your fears, releasing frustration, and creating calm. Use this color to bring harmony to challenging situations, dissolve aggression, and mend a broken heart. Emerald green also helps to increase self-esteem, attract abundance, and replenish your energy. So while you might visualize the emerald color, calm your mind, body, and soul with it. As you could, keep that color with you throughout your practice. Visualizing the emerald green as it travels through the body, or maybe shines upon you, whichever you prefer and find more useful. While you maintain your breath and let the color accompany your practice, on the next out breath, bring your right knee to your chest and give that a little squeeze. Hold it there for a bit. Your left leg can be extended if comfortable for your back, but otherwise the foot can also be on the ground. As you keep the knee hugged in towards the chest, on another exhale, the option of lifting your nose up towards the knee, and then releasing the head back down. With the next inhalation, then extend your leg and your arms towards the ceiling. And with the exhalation, lift your nose again towards the knee. Take a comfortable hold behind your leg as you carefully lower your upper body, taking the leg in with you. Keep the leg up there, but release your arms down alongside the body. Engage your lower abdomen in the direction of your tailbone as you exhale and lower the leg down slowly. Now, a straight leg would be wonderful, but if you bend your knee, it's more protective for the back and still gives you the core strength. Relaxing then into Shavasana, or constructive resting pose style. Waiting for an out breath, and on that out breath then bringing your left knee into the chest and holding the left knee hugged in. Keep it quite tight. Optional on the exhalation, lifting your nose towards the knee. On the inhalation, lie back down. Extending now your left leg and your arms to the ceiling as you inhale. On the exhale, lift your nose again towards the knee. Take a comfortable hold of the leg and carefully lower yourself down, taking the leg a little bit with you. Releasing then your arms down by the sides. Lower belly to tail as you exhale to lower the leg, bend or straight, your choice. As we strengthen internally before relaxing again into something like a resting pose. Let's now bring both knees over the chest and squeeze them in on the out breath. Option again to lift your nose towards the knees. And then releasing the body back down. On an inhale, extending both legs, both arms towards the ceiling. Have a little flexion in the feet. And with the out breath, reach with your fingers in the direction of your toes. On the inhale, lie comfortably back down, let the shoulders rest. On the exhale, lift and reach. On the inhale, lie back. Go for 3 more only. Reaching up towards the toes as you breathe out. And relaxing back down when you breathe in. Once you completed those rounds, lift your nose up towards the knees and take a comfortable hold behind your legs. Then lower the head down and take both legs with you. As you extend them lightly over your body, it's more like a lying down forward fold. As you leave the legs up in the air, slide your hands now underneath the lower part of your buttocks. Again, engage your lower abs to tail. And as you exhale, begin to move the legs slowly down towards the ground. Again, same option. You can bend your knees if you find that stressful for your back. As you release, we will all release the hands from underneath the buttocks and step the feet to the ground. And we'll then roll over to our favorite side and guiding ourselves up into a seated position. Ideally sitting on the floor, but if that's not possible, it is possible to sit elevated for these movements. So you could pop a block underneath or even your bolster. Taking your hands onto your knees now. We'll start to just circle the hips. Bringing a larger circles in with the upper body. And you could also start to roll your shoulders back, maybe individually from each other. And then allowing yourself to pause. When you're inhaling, open your arms and imagine the emerald light coming right into the heart and the throat. And when you're breathing out, give yourself a loving embrace and take that energy as you round your back and tuck the chin in. We'll do that one more time. On the inhale, open your arms, let the emerald light shine in. And change the arm that you had on top as you breathe out to round and lean into your back. Let's release the fingertips down from there. Lift the feet and change the legs around. Take a hold again of your knees. Most difficult task for this morning was circling again, but the other way around. So when your intuition kicks in, go against it and you'll be right. And as you're circling again, there's the option of letting the shoulders circle one after the other. And then as you come into center again, lift up through your spine. Take a deep in breath. Imagine the emerald light coming through the front, the throat, the heart. And exhale like a cat rounding the back, but giving yourself a good, warm and cozy hug. We'll do that one more time as you inhale. Lift your heart and throat to receive the emerald light and change the arm on top as you round again and tuck the chin in. Let's release the fingertips down again. But this time we're stepping our feet down onto the floor as well. But leaning just a little bit back to the space between our sit bones. And we'll then lift the arms up in front. You can choose to interlace your hands and maybe poke your index fingers out for Charlie's Angel's Mudra. With the arms extended, there's a likelihood the shoulders are creeping up, so you might want to soften your elbows, and with that, let your shoulders relax. Breathing in. As you breathe out, bring the hands down to one side. And while you inhale, lift the arms again. And with the exhale, bring the hands down the other side. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, twist. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, twist. You might have noticed the spine is rounding as you're twisting that spine, but when you're lifting up, you're also lifting from the heart. You find this is enough, stick with the movement, otherwise take your feet off the floor and continue the movement that way. I invite you to go for another couple of rounds to each side, unless you need to rest earlier, which is perfectly fine as well. Once you have completed, allow your feet to land again, and then swing your feet across to one side. And come to your knees. Let yourself lean and sit over to the right-hand side. If you find this is very difficult because the hips are stiff or the knees aren't too well, you can take your block and pop that underneath the right side of the buttocks, and that might make it a little bit easier for you. Now from there, take a breath in and reach your right arm up. And on the outburst now, bending to the side. And I'd ask you to just simply stay here, keeping your shoulder back, leaning in towards the right side of the body for that extension, and reaching across with the fingertips to the other side. So it is a side bend, but enhanced as we are not centered in our seat. And let your arm come forward. Bring your hands down onto the mat. Lift your hips up and extend your left leg sideways. Now, as you extend the leg, allow your toes to point forward and then roll up through the spine as you come to stand, observing that your knee and your hip are stacked and the other leg is straight out towards the side with the toes pointing forward. And with the in-breath, then reach your arms out and up and take a hold of your right wrist. With the out-breath, then bending again in towards the left or over your extended leg. This is a take on Parigasana, the gate pose. As we bring a space still into the right side of the body. The next movement, we will need to align our foot on the extended leg in line with the leg. And on an out breath, keep a hold of your wrists, but lean down and look at your leg. And when you're inhaling, open right back into the side bend. So it's not about how far can you go, it's a preparation here as we're moving and allowing ourselves to continue. On the in-breath, you're in the side bend. On the exhale, you're rolling to a gentle forward bend. Repeating that only twice more. And in that last round, let your hands release to the floor, but also take the sole of the foot off the ground. Seems too stressful otherwise. And rather than pulling your toes back, move forward into the ball of the foot. The toes will then pull back, but it feels entirely different. And you may now lower your nose down towards the knee, using hands or fists by the side of the leg to support your stance. We're aiming to surrender into a stretch. Your left leg is long and we're leaning towards it, moving out from the ball of the foot, and the eyes can close as you lengthen here your out-breath to create that space in the back of the leg. Lengthen through the spine, and your next inhale, walk the hands back into the center, ground again your left foot, and place your right hand out to the opposite side. And as you inhale, let your left arm swing over the head with the palm of the hand facing down. This is a supported side plank. If anyone feels very strong, you can bring the knee away from the floor and extend both legs. Keep your strength going, a reach over. And then release your hands. Bring both knees back down onto the mat. And if you needed a block on the other side, there's a likelihood that you need one here too, as you sit down over towards the left-hand side. Remember, these are choices, block or no block. If it's possible, go without. And with the inhale, then reaching your left arm up. And with the out breath, bending over. And now starting to bring space into the left side of the body. Your gaze is somewhere steady as you're exploring the lean across and the space you might be able to bring into the side between the ribs. With that, maybe even increasing your breathing capacity. And let your arm and shoulder roll forward. Bring your hands down, lift your hips, and we'll extend the right leg out. The toes again are facing forward. We're curling up through the spine and checking in that the hip is stuck right over the knee. With the inhalation, then reach your arms out and up. Take a hold of your left wrist. And as you're exhaling, bending to the side. So keep yourself leaning towards the side as you encourage yourself to breathe deeply. Extending further through the left side now. Again, that take on the gate pose. And before we start the movement on this side, please align the foot on your long leg with the leg. And then as you're exhaling, roll in to face the leg. And inhale to return to your side bend. You can move as slowly as you're able to breathe. As you lean down on the out breath and lift up on the in breath. Go for another 2. And in that last one, you can release your wrist, land your hands or fists down, but also lift the sole of the right foot. And you might press out into the ball of this foot while you start to breathe out more strongly and lower your nose towards the knee. And we'll stay with that for a few more breaths. Allowing some space into the back of the leg. Long exhalations, full of strength that allow us to surrender. Lengthening through the spine as you inhale and walk your hands back in front. Lower the right foot down and then place the other hand all the way to the opposite side. Take a breath in and swing your right arm over the head. And your choice of also extending the other leg for a full side plank, but only a choice. Bringing your hands down, bringing your knees down, and sitting your buttocks to the heels for a soft and relaxed child's pose. Let your arms extend then to the front end of the mat. On the inhale, come to all fours. If this is your preferred place for movement, you can stay here. Otherwise, tuck your toes under, and on an out breath, lift your knees for a downward facing dog. I encourage you, as often, to walk out the legs and get a swing into the hips for now. And then starting to walk the feet up to the front end of the mat. As you breathe in, lengthen your spine forward into a half lift. And breathe out to fold. Wait for the exhalation and curl yourself up into standing. Lifting the shoulders up to the inhale and rolling them back and down as the palms are opening to the front. So standing there in a mountain pose at the front end of the mat. As you open your arms, again, think about the emerald light that you're drawing in through the heart, the throat. And as you breathe out, bring that all in by touching palms together in front of your chest. As you stand here, inhale and raise your right knee. And with the exhale, step the foot far back. On the inhale, open your arms out to shoulder height. And bring a bend into the front knee as you exhale for warrior two. Your gaze will move forward towards the front hand fingertips. So ideally the arms are long and strong, but the shoulders are soft. The arches of the feet are lifted. And we're using the feet to draw ourselves even longer. With the next inhalation now, let the head turn into the center. And as you're breathing out, take your back hand and reach in the direction of your front ankle, or the other arm wraps behind the back. We'll do that a few times. As you inhale, reach your arms out, warrior two, looking to center. And exhale, wrap your arm behind, reach towards your ankle joint. 3 more here, inhaling as you stand to open. Exhaling as you lightly twist. And the twist might become deeper over time. As you inhale, come and stand. On the exhale for a twist. Last round, breathe in, and we're holding that last round as you breathe out. If you find instability, you could also place your fingertips to the floor, keeping a twist and an extra option to deepen by lifting your right arm. Left arm, of course, I'm sorry. So we keep turning towards the knee. Allowing another full breath here, nothing else to do. And then swing the arm down, framing your foot, lift the back heel, lower your knee, untuck the toes, and bring the other knee back. So we're having a hip distance stance with the knees. On the out breath, start to round up into standing on the knees and inhale to raise the arms. On the exhale, circle your hands then down into your lower back. Let your fingers point down. Give a little squeeze between the shoulder blades and the elbows coming in. Engage lightly your buttocks muscles and start to lift again the sternum. As we once more allow the emerald light to come in. If your neck is happy, bring your chin forward, guide the head back for Ustrasana, the camel. Careful that you're not leaning into your lower back, but you're supporting yourself with core, buttocks, and that strong lift at the heart. With your next exhale, keep your head back. Let your hips sink to the heels. And then surrender yourself forward. And you can stack hands or fists and rest the forehead on. Allowing a little movement there of the hips from side to side. Let your arms extend again to the front end of your mat. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. If you like, stay or tuck toes and breathe out for down dog. Again, please walk out through your legs and take small steps as you walk your feet in between your hands. Take a half lift there on the in-breath and fold down on the out-breath. Wait for your next exhalation to roll up into standing. As you come to stand, open your arms. Let the emerald light shine into the heart as you open your gaze. And with the exhale, bring that energy in with palms touching into heart center. On the next inhalation, raising your left knee. On the out breath, step the foot far back. On the inhale, open the arms and lunge into the right knee as you breathe out. So the same here, arms might be out to shoulder height, gaze point is forward to the fingertips. Arches of feet are active and feet are lifting you up from the ground. When you next inhale, look towards the center. When you exhale, take your back hand and reach for the front ankle where the knee is bent, wrapping the other arm behind your back. On the inhale, rise back up, warrior two. On the exhale, swing around into your twist. We'll go for 3 more. On the inhale, a warrior two. On the exhale, wrap it around. 2 more, find your pace. It's like a dance with yourself when we come to these movements. And holding in your last one. And the same here, if you feel unsafe or unbalanced, you can place the hand down to the mat. If you want a deeper twist, you might choose to extend your left arm and go deeper. Then let your upper arm swing back, lift the back heel, bring the knee down, untuck the toes, and let the other knee come underneath the hip as well. On the out breath, rolling up through your spine. On the inhale, lifting the arms. And as you breathe out, circle the arms all the way behind into the lower back. Hands come flat, fingers pointing down. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades, the elbows together. Start to lift from your sternum. And if your neck is still okay, bring the chin forward and carefully guide the head back. You can stay here with that light squeeze in the buttocks, but you might also choose to reach down to your heels if you feel remotely comfortable with that. So no need to go deeper if you don't want to. Let's keep the heart lifting, inviting a little bit more of the emerald light. And with your next out breath, bend your hips to sit to your heels. The head will follow as you bring your hands out in front, maybe supporting the forehead. And again, the option of allowing the hips to sway a little, finding their place as you ease yourself in. Let your arms extend again to the front end of the mat and spread out your fingers. On the inhalation, come onto all fours. Tucking the toes under, breathe out for a downward facing dog. Last time, we're walking our feet out and taking the feet slowly to the front end of the mat. Find your half lift as you breathe in and fold back down as you're breathing out. Last time that we engage lower abs to roll up into standing on the out breath. Lift your shoulders as you inhale and shrug them down, opening again the palms of the hands towards the front. So you're still standing at the front end of the mat. I'm only changing my position to be better seen through the screen. Allowing your knees to bend. Take an in-breath. Invite even more of that emerald light. And today we will hug our shoulders, curling ourselves in, but then raising the head again. Your knees are still in a bend. Let's shift the weight over to the left foot and let the right leg cross over. We're playing with an eagle hug position, and you could allow the foot to be on or off the mat while gently squeezing the legs together. And you might benefit from lifting the elbows a little bit away from your chest, but maintaining your hug. From here, take a breath in, open your arms out, lift your knee, and step right back into Warrior Two. Let's place the backhand down to the side of the waist and turn the front palm up. And as you're exhaling, bend your elbow and reach your forearm down to the middle of your thigh. A side angle pose as you're opening your shoulder and maybe lifting your gaze with a light tuck of the chin to the shoulder. So we're now turning towards the open side. If I placed my words wrong and mixed up left and right again, that's my apologies. So we're in the open side, and if you choose to extend more, you can lift your right arm. Maybe also turning the left hand downwards, extending more deeply. Using your front foot as you inhale, come to Warrior Two. Bringing the hands to touch as you step your feet again together at the front end of your mat. Let's invite the emerald light again as you bend your knees, open your heart, inhale. Other arm comes on top as you give yourself a loving hug. Raise your head though and lift your left knee. Crossing the leg over, big toe to the floor, or hugging the legs in together. As you hold your embraced eagle, you might benefit from raising the elbows slightly away from the chest and just noticing how that impacts your upper back. While you find a little bit of balance here, pause. And as you inhale, open the arms again, raise your left knee, step it back and land it straight into Warrior Two. Placing the backhand again into the side of the waist. Turning the front palm up, inhale. As you exhale, place the forearm down to the middle of your thigh. And as you inhale, roll your shoulder back. Maybe tuck the chin in to look upwards. The rest are only extra options, as you could choose to inhale and extend your left arm. Or even point your right hand down towards the floor and extend that arm too. Using the front foot as you rise back up, inhale, warrior two. Bring your hands to the heart and step the foot forward as you breathe out. Let the arms release now, turn the palms of the hands forward, standing tall and strong in the mountain. As you inhale, raise the arms. Maybe there's a mini back bend for you. And then soften your knees and exhale to fold forward. On your inhale, lengthen your spine up, half lift. And with your exhale, landing down to sit. So I will be turning myself, no need for you as long as you can see me. I will ask you to start the seated sequence with a twist. We will begin with the right knee at a bend. So if you like, your left leg can be extended forward, but you could also slide that foot underneath the other leg. And from here, you could place the right foot in front of the shin, or you could place it to the outside of the leg, whichever is your preferred variation. Take a hold of your knee and now lengthen up through your spine, breathing in. Let the right hand fingertips slide behind you and breathe out for your twist. If you want a deeper hug, take the knee, the elbow around your knee, or even the elbow to the outside of the knee. Just feeling in with the shoulders, noticing what's better. You can close the eyes here or steady your gaze. And allowing yourself to turn, to create the twist. That could represent one of the challenges that you're currently facing. And if it does for yourself, come back to the color emerald. Let that shine upon you. With the next breath in, turn your head forward. Unwind your posture. Get your legs out long. Give them a little wiggle. We'll then change sides. So you're welcome to leave your right leg out long and just bend your left knee. Or you could take your right foot underneath the left to the opposite side. You're welcome to keep the left foot in front of the shin or place it to the outside of the thigh. No matter your choice, take a hold of the knee that is in front of you and lengthen up as you inhale. And slide your left hand fingertips behind and breathe out for your twist. Same here, very welcome. Elbow to the outside of the leg or deeper embrace by hugging the elbow around the knee. And then close your eyes again. You can come back to the color emerald at any time. As you might notice, your challenges in the physical body are way beyond that in your life. Shining emerald light onto it all as you're holding your twist. With your next breath in, turn your head forward. With the out breath, release and unwind your legs. And you might give them another little shake. If you feel like your forward bend could do with something a little bit different, take your block. But you might also choose to, as we're forward bending, roll up the end of your mat to give you a bit of a cushion and support there. So if you choose that, pop yourself up onto the roll first. You can bend your knees quite deeply, and this might not be for everyone. It is a slight enhancement of the posture. So if you can reach there, Place your block underneath your feet and take a hold of the block. You can do so on the outside of the knees, as I am currently doing, or on the inside of the knees, as eventually we will extend the legs out. If you find this is too much, let the block go and instead hold onto, from the outside, the balls of your feet. No matter which variation you're choosing, it is a deeper flexion in the feet. And as you breathe in, either pull on your block or on the balls of your feet. And as you're exhaling, either both legs at the same time or one after the other can slide forward. Doesn't mean your legs have to be straightened, but we're keeping the pulling back on the feet, whether that is with a block behind them or whether it is on the hold of the ball of the foot. Your gaze comes down, your shoulders are at ease. You could even shrug them so there's no pull in the shoulders themselves. Only go to the point where you're actively drawing the feet back. And then surrender downwards. And the best way to surrender here is as an all forward folds the exhalation. And if you find the exhalation alone doesn't allow you to deepen the expression for yourself enough, you can gently activate Mula Bandha by drawing the lower abs to the tail on the exhale. But do let that go when you're inhaling. And that might also result in a slight movement. As you inhale, a little lift out, and as you exhale, a deepening of the shape. So please stay with that for a few more breaths, just allowing yourself. We will then let go of the block. If you are using a block, slide that straight into the middle of the long side of your mat. Otherwise, just let go of your feet, lengthen your spine, and then slowly sliding yourself up into sitting. Remove anything underneath your buttocks and make sure that there's plenty of space behind you. Now, given our outside temperatures today, you could have socks on your feet now. You could have a jumper on you if you took one off. And then let's lengthen through the spine when you are ready, and very slowly releasing your back down. You can keep a hold on your legs, or you can just move with your core as you release your body down. If it's possible, allow the legs to be long for a while, as we have been forward bending, and that area was always a little bit compressed, so to allow some flow back through the groins. I will ask you from here to step your feet quite comfortably down onto the mat, maybe about hip distance apart. To have your block ready, and you can use your block on the flat side or on the midway point, whichever is your preference. Please don't use it all the way up. It's not what we're there for at the moment. So let's lift the hips up as you breathe in, sliding the block underneath, straight to the lowest part of your spine, the tailbone area, the sacrum. So where the spine then and the natural curve potentially of the lower back is completely free of any pressure of that block. As I said, block could be flat or halfway up. If it's halfway up, take a hold of the block. And then carefully lift one knee after the other over your chest. If the block is in a good position, just leave it there. Otherwise, you might shuffle yourself into a better position before you're extending your legs up. Please do make sure that your neck is aligned and your gaze is straight up, and there's space between the shin and the collarbone, but also not too much space so the head isn't tilted backwards. from here, notice if your block is balanced. If it is, let your hands release, the arms gently open to each side. And then encourage the balls of the feet actively towards the ceiling. So your legs are beginning to extend and your toes are lightly pulling back, and then hold that. This is a supported shoulder stand. And you might notice that the major difference is that the weight sits mainly on the block, that your shoulders could be moved, that your neck could be moved. And yet you're getting all the benefits from a shoulder stand without the stress on these parts of the body where we're often holding a lot of tension. You could imagine right now that the emerald light is cascading down right there from the balls of the feet and your toes, down the legs, into the chest area, and even out into the arms and hands and fingers, and to the head. Filling your body again with the emerald light. Let go of the light, let go of the tension in the feet, and start to wiggle your toes. Placing your hands then onto your block if it's halfway up, and carefully bend your knees to your chest. Allowing one foot after the other to safely land at hip distance on the mat. Lifting your hips away from your block, slide it out from underneath and roll your spine down onto the floor. I won't tell you now what to do. What I will ask you to do, however, is take a few breaths and just checking in. Is there a movement that you require? And what could that look like? Is it a full body stretch? Is it a hug of the knees? Is it a light twisty movement? If your body says, nah, I'm all good, you can come straight into Shavasana. You could use a bolster underneath the knees. You can extend the legs out, or you can step your feet out to mat distance and drop the knees in. If you feel you need a movement, have the movement first and then act upon your Shavasana. So when ready, allow your body to come into stillness and rest. I think we all know that that is the most difficult part of the practice. Maybe not necessarily physically, although for a lot of people it is quite difficult to lie still. Allowing yourself back into the sense of surrender. Where you accept yourself just as you're feeling now. Maybe changed, maybe not. You could also notice all the sensations that contribute to the surrender, like the heartbeat slowing down and the breath. If this is what you would like to focus on, please continue. Otherwise, you might want to imagine to go out into a garden. And you arrive in the garden, and you take deep breaths. of fresh air while you focus on the greenery all around you. Imagine then you place your hands on the green grass and feel the healing, calming energy it contains. Imagine what it would be like to be a blade of grass. Alive, growing, with no resistance. Then breathe in the emerald green rays and allow the feeling of peace and calm to flow through your body. You might repeat silently or even out aloud to yourself. Divine love. I rejoice in the wonder of nature. Every time I focus on the greenery around me, I allow myself to feel calm, perfect, balance, and harmony. Allowing these words to sink in just as you took in the emerald color. And be with that in stillness. Let's gently deepen the breath coming through the nostrils. Adding some slide movements to the body. Maybe have a stretch. And lying down, you might then choose to bend your knees, roll to your side. And from there, join me in a seated position. Once we sit, we take one more breath in, opening the arms, the heart, inviting once more that color emerald. And condensing it as we bring the hands in Anjali Mudra together in front of the chest and with a light bow of the heart, embracing that idea of peacefulness and harmony and balance within us. And with that idea, we're extending gently to each other. Namaste.